what I want to ask you is your love for music and hip hop. You know, where did that come from, and you know, who influenced you in that manner? Like, when did you realize, man, this is something that, you know, I want to be a part of?
Well, I know I always been a part of hip hop, but it wasn't music at first. You know, we used to break dance, which later evolved to housing. We used to dance off house music. We was nice. Before we rapped, we were dancers. And
so the first, you know, now I just want to bring up, you know, the Bornnaturals, you know, your crew. You know, right. the Bornnaturals, Bornats, Newport News finest, Virginia finest. When y'all got together, you know, and started off in hip hop, like you say, yeah. It was dancing first.
Yeah, it was dancing first. It was just a group of guys. We just into middle school. We becoming popular, and what set it off, me and my guys, we did a talent show one time, and that talent show went to us joining a group called Dance Troupe. You know, that was a popular group around my way. But what really made me love music and know that I was going to do music, it was an accumulation of things. I want to credit Yo MTV Raps and you know, stuff like BET, because then you would see the rap, but you wouldn't see it as much. But it touched me in my hood to be an MC, because the people that I saw doing it, I was the people who I looked up to. But for some reason, it wasn't cool to do what they was doing, but they was doing that shit to the fullest, like the people that you see on TV. You know, it used to be a crew around here called the Ganja Crew. They were actually crew members of some DJs who became world famous DJs from my area called the Buddha Brothers.
DJ Law.
Yeah, DJ Law.
Yeah.
You know,
rest in peace, DJ Law. Yeah.
And he had his other brother too. You know what I'm saying? Christopher Belch. But what happened was, I seen Marty and Dice. That was their name, man. They was fly, man. They'll come to the hood. I think one of them was in the military, but they were very different. They was bringing different stuff to our community. But thing that's when I first saw it, like, yo, them niggas rapping. Oh shit, this is cool. But I didn't want to do it then. I didn't do it until I saw a couple guys from around my way doing it, and they made it more believable. Like, they had the jewelry that the rappers had. They had the cars, the girl. They had. I'm like,
would those individuals by any chance be Troy Catchmore, Dexter Johnson?
Yeah, man. Cru Thik, man. Cru Thik, yo. They had Bloody Red, Kevin.
Rest in peace,
those
Bloody
brothers
Red. Dexter Johnson.
Yeah, they didn't need rap and was doing it. Let me say that. They didn't need rap. They ain't need the rap, you know what I'm saying? In my eyes, you know what I'm saying? In my eyes, I'm looking at them like they had it all. But what made me want to keep doing this is when they walked up to me and said, it's like all the people that I looked up to walked up to me and was like, yeah, you got this, you studied this, you learning. They giving me my props now. They like, I even heard one of them say, I'm gonna be a problem if I keep on.
DX has music with great replay value, and you can feel that shit, man. It's the struggle, it's the real life of real individuals, you know what I mean? And any of y'all lyrical miracle niggas with the ABC, you know, whatever, like, don't get it twisted, you know what I'm saying? Niggas will get up there and do that shit with you all day fucking long, bruh. Like, because I'm saying, you know, I feel DX music, or he got music with replay value. Don't think that the nigga won't get up here and bar you the fuck down. That's not a question. It's not an issue, but you have figured out a different method of connecting with the everyday people, you know. I mean,
they tell you where they come from. that come from, and I want to say it in a positive way because I don't want it to come off wrong. That come from being tested. That come from man sharpening man. That come from like you. That come from brothers like Ty Gracie. That come from brothers like Mike Myers. Never will I be in Peddler's Village and I don't have my shit together. Yo, ever run up on me? That's why we love each other so much, because it's like the Willie Lynch syndrome in my area for a minute, until brothers like Point Guard, to brothers like you, to brothers start stepping up and saying, yo, we not gonna have this Hampton Newport News division.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, bro, because what ultimately I would love people to know and understand is that we family, man. You know, niggas be fucked up. I don't know what they be. I can't think for nobody, but as far as the relationship with brothers like yourself, or the Bornats in general, brothers like Sick Mike, you know what I'm saying, or Boogie, or these people from different places, man, we connected, bro. We love each other. You know what I'm saying? We fought for this shit for years, nigga, sacrificed, you know, and lost people behind this shit. So
why you think I wanted to be up here? You feel me? Somewhere in your life and somewhere in my life, both of us stayed connected to a higher source, because we rose over a lot of shit that, you know what I mean?
I feel like, you know, the Bornaturals, man, to me, and what DX, you know, Abu, you know what I'm saying, Naheem, all y'all brothers, bruh, you know, rest in peace, I got, you know what I'm saying, have brought to the city and the town, you know what I'm saying, like, it's so powerful, bruh. You know what I mean? Even down to y'all logo. Now, I want to ask you about the Bornaturals logo, and how did that created? How did that, you know, get created, and who was responsible for that? What was the conversation? What was the conversation when that logo came about?
Yeah, well, the logo y'all see now with the pregnant woman and the roots, that's our second logo. Our first logo came from See Now, Pinky. One of my group members drew the first joint. It was the pregnant stomach, but it was just a stomach with the child in it, with the umbilical cord, the child about to come out or whatever. But we ran with that for a while, and we came up with a new logo. And Delvin, y'all might know Fast Eddie. Delvin. Right. Shout out my homeboy Wink Wise. That's like my big brother. That's my manager for real. But you know what I'm saying, we'll get to that. We just needed something going forward to represent us as a unit. So we sat around. We used to have this joint called the Po' Boy Special, PBS. You know what I'm saying? We got to take the turkey meat with the vegetarian beans, with the onions and the green peppers and the rice. That was a good ass meal too. But we sat around and we collectively thought of that, bro. And we took it to Delvin. They stayed on his ass until they liked it. Nah, do this, nah, do that, nah, do this, nah, do that. But collectively, bro, we thought of that shit, bro. And it's so crazy that you said something about that logo, because I've had people in my inbox saying, can they just buy that logo?
Like, we always loved that logo. Like, you know, it stood for so much. It was so powerful, man. Like, if motherfuckers was deaf and they couldn't talk, you know what I mean, in sign language being powerful, and symbols, you know, symbolism is powerful, you know, it speaks a language. It really, you can have a whole conversation with a picture, bro. So when I see that Bornaturals logo, it's such a statement, you know what I'm saying? But
you know, Born is 9, so it was 9 MCs,
right? And
those roots, represent the unity and the strength that we have, and the togetherness that we have.
The Newport News Foundation really circled coming in, you know, getting into hip hop as far as the culture and dancing, you know, Kibbles and Bits was the name.
Yeah, that was our first name. That was our first name. We wasn't even Bornaturals. All of us had names after cereals. I was Tricks. My homeboy was, like, we had Cocoa Puffs. We had, like, yo, tell you a story. Let me tell you about Kibbles and Bits before we start rapping. There's a guy in our area. His name is David Pope. He used to love to wear polo. Kibbles and Bits. This is how we used to make our money, right? We'll find niggas like Dion Richardson, David Pope. Like, we'll find certain niggas that wear that polo.
Right.
And we'll let them know we going on a run today. What y'all need?
What y'all need, nigga?
No, listen. But I'm like 13, 14 years old.
Right.
Back in my life, I'm like, how I'm in the mall taking photos for these niggas, and they contacted me like, yo, y'all ain't doing nothing today. But nah, let's just go to show you how wild my city was in hindsight. Because I see some of these 13-year-olds and I see some of these 14-year-old kids, and I have to sometimes become more patient because I'm looking at them to be more advanced. But no, they're where they need to be. They don't need to rush. I was rushing. I was tossed in the fire. I see some people from my area, man, that was the age where I first became independent. And I'm meeting guys like Uncle Jay. And when we was talking about rapping and who made me want to rap, yo, you got kids in Hampton, Uncle Jay and Tip Top back in the early 90s. I'm talking about like their whole day consists of bouncing off each other, like freestyling. I came up around Tip Top. I came up around Uncle Jay. Like, they was on Shell Road killing shit. My Aunt Regina stayed on Shell Road. I was living in Newport News, but my mom would send me to my dad's side of the family. Like, nah, you going with them, this, you know? And let me tell you something, man, like, they made sure, like, put it like this. You couldn't say no bullshit around there. Tip Top. I want to shout out Uncle Jay too. Uncle Jay was the one who said, this the line that made me want to rap. Y'all gonna laugh, but this shit was fly to me. I'm like, yo, anybody say something like this is nice. He said, I ain't a high roller, but call me a roller coaster. Like, yo, I could do this. I could do this.
So basically, man, what I'm getting, like, you know, a child of the city, like, you're a child of the city, bruh.
Hey, look, let me tell you something. Remember I was telling about going from a Really Circle to Wood song?
Right.
I wasn't automatically accepted.